Welcome once again to Superhero Stuff You Should Know. This is Bedman Returns, and with me is...
Andrew, Akira Batcycle should be made. Bush. Greetings, Internet. I'm
we'll explain
ready,
that later, if need be.
and I'm freshly shorn.
Ah, yes.
Just want the whole world to know.
Nice cut.
Thank you. This is short for me.
So, we have ranked the Batwings and the Batcycles, and like usual, we try to cover the unmade versions of the vehicles, but they're not as prominent as the Batmobiles, so we're not just going to cover the unmade Batcycles, we're also covering the unmade Batwings in the same episode, because otherwise this would be really short. So, a lot of the concept art sort of fits what we might end up getting at times. So, let's go into the unmade Batwings and Batcycles for this week. We'll start with the first half being the Batcycles, and the second half being the Batwings, especially because one of the things for the Batcycle is an unmade version of Ben Affleck's Batcycle, so we can kind of see whether or not we prefer the unmade version over the one that we got in The Flash that we ranked as a D in our rankings in design. You would think it can only go up, but, jury's out. We haven't shown it yet, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Yes, indeed. So... like we've talked about before with the Batcycle, there was no opportunity for the Batcycle to show up in the Batman serials because it didn't exist at that time. They couldn't even get the Batmobile right in those because it was literally just a car. So moving on into the Batman 66 show, there weren't really anything that we could find when it came to unmade designs for the Batcycle on that. But that kind of makes us jump forward into the Keaton era. So Michael Keaton did not have a Batcycle, but he did in the Kenner toys. So let's take a look at that. We have the Batman Batcycle. Look at this beauty. We have here, it has a rapid action rocket. I don't remember if Zach covered this when we did the Kenner stuff, because we covered a lot with that. But you can notice the rocket over here that's shooting out. You've got Keaton riding it, and you've also got these wings on the side. Obviously...
knee support, of course. You got to protect the knees.
So this is not necessarily one that's designed for the movie, but it is designed by Kenner itself, and it is related in some ways. So
it's part of the toy line associated with the movie. Mm-hmm. It's just not in the movie.
Exactly.
We used to be a proper country, man. This box art is really good. Mm-hmm. Feel like, I know people, after you get to a certain age, it's like, it's kind of like trite to say like things used to be better, but it's just like, like art that like the toy box art is generally better at this time, right? Am I wrong?
It did used to be better, yeah.
Right?
This is legit because it's like a glimpse at something that isn't like in the movie or isn't like you can't just replicate it with toys. Like now it's just it's photography really of the toy set or something, which like okay cool you can replicate that, but there's something cool about looking at this and like taking out your action figures and trying to replicate what you see on the box. Like that's really cool to me.
This is the illustration is great, and just love the big font for Batcycle, and I don't know, it's good all around. I love the box art here. Usually this is where I say I had this one, but I don't know if I had this one. This one is really cool looking though. Mm-hmm.
I definitely didn't have this one myself.
Yeah.
I do like it. I do like the. You can kind of see it. Almost looks like eyes with these headlights in the front.
Oh, definitely.
It's almost like a bat head right here.
Definitely. That's great, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So really like this. I don't know how the wings would necessarily like play in live action, but it's cool for a toy.
It'd have to serve some purpose, like for fucking dudes up or something. You know, take out kneecaps or something.
Or maybe it would work for, Flash. I mean, Keaton in the Flash movie where he's like 70. He needs the knee support, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So this is that Batcycle. But continuing on into that universe, we did end up getting a Batcycle in that universe thanks to the Batman 89 comic as designed by Joe Quinones. And yes, this is the same pose as in Robin's Reckoning, which in itself comes from Akira, as we've talked about before.
One of the most famous shots of all time at this point, I think. You see it heavily memed, heavily parodied. It's like an Akira, Kaneda walking to the to the bike and all that. Like it's one of those iconic shots at this point, dude. I mean, you don't even have to be an anime to kind of know that these days, I feel like. So
Yeah.
Just getting back to my screen name for this episode, I guess. But yeah, I don't think I noticed this when I was a kid seeing this, but it's very cool that they did this.
Yeah. Yeah. So one homage to another, So it's cool, and also ties into your name for this week as kind of a recap. I brought that back, the Ryan Hong
Hell yeah.
bike that we talked about in that one mini episode. Stuff still would be the best one. Definitely would have been better than what Affleck was riding in the Flash in the opening. But
even
it's,
like
someday
all black like this, black and yellow, black and gold, or blue and gray. Could go either way. Would look awesome. Imagine Batman with those colorways, with this cape flapping. You know what I mean? On this bike, it'd be sick.
It would be, no, for sure. So, just putting that out there in the universe.
Yeah.
If anybody
James Gunn,
wants to bring the Bat Cycle. Yep. Oh yeah, Muschietti would be the next one, right? Because we already saw the Reeves version, so it's like, all right, Muschietti, here's an improved version of the Bat Cycle.
Just copy the shot too, man. Do the fucking slide, the crane up, camera movement, do the whole thing. If you have that bike, I mean, maybe you're probably fine doing that. I think. I don't know if it'll be any kind of copyright for that. Hopefully, as long as the bike itself is changed up enough.
I mean,
your lawyers will be on it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Jordan Peele can have it replicated in live action. I'm sure we would be fine.
Pretty much replicated it exactly. I guess the thing would be the bike design itself, but they got the lawyers for that. They know what they're doing. So yeah,
just change certain things about it. It'll be fine. If it's just this, I would want a little bit more Bat stuff on this, which obviously you would want to add. This is just an example because this wasn't meant to be a Bat Cycle design anyway that we're showing up here.
I didn't go into what was the latest Peele movie called again? Nope. I didn't go into Nope thinking I was going to see an Akira homage, and then it happened. And in the theater, I'm literally that DiCaprio meme, like pointing at the screen. That whole meme, like I was like, oh my god! And then I had to call a friend of mine that is a huge Akira fan after the movie. But anyway,
that's awesome.
Yeah, great motorcycle.
So yeah, the Bat Cycle in the comic is designed by Joe Quinones. We have some of the concept art right here that's in the back of the book. This is built by Bruce, but Batman does not actually write it in the comic. It is written by the Drake Winston version of Robin, who sees it in the Batcave, falls in love with it, rides it. Batman rides on the back of it with Robin driving it, but it is really more Robin's cycle than Batman's, and Bruce kind of just gives it to him at the end. But it would be awesome to have this type of toy. We do see some of the Kenner influence in the fact that, you kind of have a similar bat head type of design in the front as well as the wings, except instead of being on the side, you've got that sort of kind of the fin in the back, but in like a bat wing type of way, not like a shark fin type of thing.
Yeah, I like this one okay. I think this, I would maybe... It's like a B.
Kenner.
It's like a B+, maybe. I don't hate it. It's good. I can see why people would like it. But probably not my favorite ever.
You can also see this version is capable of having the shields, like we can see here in the concept art.
That is cool.
That's on the Batmobile, which, yeah, it's cool. I don't think that's in the comic. I think that only exists in the concept art. I don't think they had an opportunity to show that in the comic, but it is a really cool design to have that little shell on top of it too, where you're just like, okay, well, that makes sense. He doesn't want anyone to mess up with the Batmobile. Of course, he wouldn't want anyone to mess up with the Bat Cycle. So the shielded version of the Bat Cycle can be seen on this concept art.
That is cool, and I can see him turning on the shields while riding it and then ramming shit.
Yes,
that would be sick.
Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting because he never does turn on the shields while he's driving. Because I guess it's something that should be when it's stationary, but that's just our assumption. Like if he really needed them, I guess.
I would say it's too heavy, but the thing is, like, if you think about it practically, the shields are there. They're just,
they're already part of it.
They're compacted. So, whatever, dude, it's fine. It's a guy in a bat suit with his chin exposed. Like, it doesn't have to be super practical. But, I like the shields. They're cool.
Yeah, same here. So yeah, that's the Batman '89 one, and then the main unmade Bat Cycle that I teased was the fact that we have an unmade Affleck Bat Cycle. This was done for Justice League. I'm not sure when it would have made sense for him to be on a Bat Cycle, but apparently they thought of that because it doesn't really fit with the rest of the movie. Most of the vehicles he's in have to have the rest of the Justice League on them. So I don't know where they would have put this in, but let's take a look at how it compares to the one in The Flash. This is an early version. I believe this is from Patrick Tatopoulos, the production designer, on it. And then it gets more fleshed out in this concept art by Ed Natividad for Justice League. And yeah, they definitely went with the more futuristic Blade Runner-esque / Batman Beyond type of thing for this. This is the side of it. And then we have a little bit more on here in terms of how it was supposed to work. But to me, this is like a Batman Beyond thing. I just don't really see this working for the Batfleck version.
I'm not super into these like hover bikes either that much. Like I get it. I get the idea behind it. I can get why people like it, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just not for me.
Not for me either. So, do you feel like this is actually worse than the one that we got in The Flash? About the same.
If Batfleck's driving this and but the thing is, The Flash is like set in like modern day, not in the future.
Exactly. That's why this doesn't really fit for me when I'm looking at this.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Yeah, it would have been. Dude, they're about equally bad to me. I don't know. I mean, maybe this one's a little bit worse just because it's so outside of the tone and the setting of the movie. You know, they could do alternate reality. They could do like an alternate reality where, you know, it's like present day but with some futuristic shit in it. I guess you could swing it that way, but
right.
I hate for anything to be worse than that Muschietti bike, but this might be one of those things.
I know, right? Like, this is kind of disappointing because it's still not. It doesn't really fit with what we got. I don't really like this hovercraft thing. It doesn't really work with what we got with the aesthetic that we got in the Snyder movies. It's cool that they played around with ideas, but like, again, if this were Batman Beyond, okay, that fits that world.
Yeah,
but Snyderverse, I'm like, this would have been weird. I'm like, can't you just make a bat cycle? Just make a motorcycle that has a bat motif.
Just put some fucking wheels on it. No,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, the hovercraft, like the Bat hovercraft bike. It's just not cool looking, man. At the end of the day, it's just not cool looking. And I like futuristic looking shit, but this is just not really my vibe at all. Really. I don't know. I'd have to think of. No, not at all. And this is a Snyder vehicle, right? Mm-hmm. This is just still like his aesthetic with the vehicles, man. It's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here with this one. So I'm like, what we got wasn't that much better, but it was a little better.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, and then the last one is one that actually was made, but we never get to see it, which is the canceled Batgirl movie. We've talked about this in the $5 Patreon tier. Yeah, so this is a stunt woman in the Batgirl suit, and we talked about this in the $5 tier, but we're not really sure about the context of this. This looks kind of, this looks very realistic, but we don't know if this is one where Barbara Gordon is using her own motorcycle. I think the most likely scenario is that she commandeers this motorcycle. Like it's not hers. She steals it from the villain and then continues, and it's like foreshadowing because it's already, the image of Batgirl on the Batcycle or her Batcycle is, so prevalent in the Batman 66 imagery with, Yvonne Craig just kind of writing in there in the title sequence. So I think this is their way to do it. I don't think this is the Batcycle that like Keaton gives her in this movie. Again, none of us get to see it, so we don't know. But
it's too normal looking. So yeah, that is probably the case. Plus, and again, according to other leaked images, there was another Batgirl suit that it looked like it showed some evolution. Now, this suit is awesome, but it is kind of like the more makeshift look. It's more in the beginning of her origin story, right? So she doesn't quite have her own bike yet either. So yes, it probably was commandeered, like you said. So yeah, it might not really count. And maybe, there is supposed to be an evolution when she gets the other suit and she gets another bike. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the redo, one day,
Yeah.
So probably with a very similar script.
Well, Keaton, this doesn't fit Keaton's aesthetic either. Like, if
Yeah.
there's a scenario where Keaton's Batman does gift something to her, we know his Batsuit is the same one from The Flash. We know that his Batmobile is in there. So this doesn't really fit with that. So, like, we would only really count this as a Batcycle if this is one that he gives her. And it probably wouldn't look like this. It would probably look something closer to what we saw earlier with the Kenner toy or the Quinones design in some way. So I'm with you. I think this is one that doesn't really count, but it's kind of cool to see these pictures because at this point they're the only surviving things for the public to see.
It sucks to see these images, man. Just to talk about the Batgirl movie for a moment, it's just so. It's just like the directors had their heart in the right place. Because I mean, just looking at the suit, it's like they looked at New 52 and they're like, yeah, just make this, and that's exactly what the fuck this is, So hopefully we get something like that whenever the redo happens, whenever that happens.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure. I feel like Gunn will make good on that eventually. They didn't announce anything yet, but
You mean in terms of making it up to the people who are behind the movie?
Behind the movie and doing a whole Batgirl movie in the DCU or a show.
Yeah.
Like in the dawn of the Gunverse. Apparently there's no Batgirl announcement right now, as we all know. But after they make their first 5 to 10 movies, maybe another Batgirl incarnate, I assume, is going to be somewhere in the sea of the Gunverse. So,
yeah, I think it's an interesting situation too, because a lot of people now are kind of like, so you said this movie would be damaging to the DC brand, but
I don't think, dude, that was canceled before Gunn took over, though, right?
Yeah, no. Like it's more of a criticism of Zaslav, because Zaslav was the one who canceled the Batgirl movie, and the narrative is that this movie would have damaged the DC brand. And then looking at what's been going on with the box office on The Flash, it's kind of difficult to argue what's really, that the last, I guess, 3 DCEU movies have been the ones that have really been damaging.
Dude, I can't believe how bad it is. It's just bad brand. The brand's so tarnished.
Yeah,
it's so tarnished. Because
so
the Flash is not the best thing ever, but it's like it doesn't deserve this kind of abysmal box office either,
right.
Really. But it's getting that.
It's a victim of the previous stuff, I think. Like we've talked about before.
And the lead, but
yes,
we all know that, and we're gonna move on now.
Indeed. So out of these Bat Cycles, I think our favorite has got to be the Kenner toy.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, out of these, that's easy.
Let's go back to that one. That hands down.
That's a hands down.
Favorite.
Honestly, combine Ryan Hong. If you combine this one a little bit with the Akira bike, I think we're really onto something. Or somebody out there that has the gumption and the gusto. That we would love to see that fan art. That'd be cool.
Yeah, kind of like the design of the head of it, the bat head on it. If you put that in the front of this,
definitely.
Yeah, then you have the bat ears on like the sides and stuff. That'd be cool.
At least on the top part there. I guess you can't see where I'm pointing,
but
like the top just in front of the handlebars. Yeah, like
got
that kind of area. Put the head kind of there, and then kind of go from there. But yeah, Kaneda's bike, there it is. Yeah. Even I, a lifelong anime fan, I'll sometimes call it Akira's bike, and I'm like, no, that's not right. It's the bike in Akira, but it's Kaneda's bike.
Right. Well, I guess when you say it, you're referring to the movie in this context.
I know. But sometimes I'm, even so, I don't know. Anyway,
I do. So,
it's confusing.
All right, those are the Bat Cycles. We will cover the unmade Bat Wings after the break. All right, everyone, it's time for our July announcements. We got a bunch of other new things on the way. or already recorded. So let's start with this. We have the 89 logo up here because for those who missed it, I was on the show Table Read Tuesdays where we read the Sam Hamm script from 1986 for the Batman 89 movie. I couldn't reveal who I was playing the last time we announced this, but since it's already come and gone, I was the voice of Batman.
Woo!
So I got to finally read that role. It was an awesome experience. I got my own Vicky Vale, got my own Joker to fight against, my own Robin even. But, it's also a script where there are long instances where Batman is doing stuff and doesn't say anything. So it was really easy for me compared to everyone else, especially compared to Kat, the narrator, who was the MVP of that, with reading through all the action description. But check that out at the Table Read Tuesdays YouTube page that we'll have on the link below. And it is 5 hours long, FYI. So we don't expect you to go through all that because there's a lot of, there's so much action description that it's not the same length as a movie. When we go through all that. And the final hour alone is just on, an analysis and discussion on the differences between this and the movie itself. So check that out if you want. And in the meantime, both Andrew and I, as we've talked about before, are in a movie. We're in Jeffrey Scott Richards' movie, Derek Magnum. We recently saw the finished edit of it. It's great. We are in it, of course. It's great because we're in it. No, it's great regardless whether or not we're in it. But please help us out or help them out, really, because this does not go to us. There's a GoFundMe set up for the Derek Magnum production costs, and a lot of it goes towards submitting it to festivals, which is where Jeffrey's sending it. And we are executive producers on the movie. So if you are a part of that and want to help out, you will be basically helping us become executive producers on potentially an award-winning movie in these festivals. So
Indeed.
That's exciting.
Yes, thank you for including us, Derek. And it's awesome. Please check it out, everybody. Mm-hmm. And please try to help him out with production costs. Plus, the submitting to festivals, man, it ain't cheap.
Nope.
That's a whole other deal, dude.
Yes.
So please check that out if you can.
Mm-hmm. Another announcement coming up. So I have a couple creative things. Andrew has a couple creative things, so I'll start with mine. My first scripted podcast for the audio drama channel Nuverse Creative. That is coming up soon, if it has not been already by the time this gets released. And it is not one that we've announced before. This has been kept secret until now, but I can finally reveal this. It's going to be Batman 89, Case of the Chemical Syndicate. This is an adaptation of the very first Batman story, Detective Comics number 27, by Bill Finger, but written as a prequel to Batman 89. And also, as you can see in this thumbnail by Tim over at Nuverse Creative, it is inspired by the Caped Crusader suit that we broke down in our episode where we went through all the different Keaton suits. So that's why that's there. Though
you wrote it?
I did, yeah.
Okay,
so I
cool.
I adapted this. It's basically a faithful adaptation of Detective Comics number 27, but I injected a little something in there that you guys are going to have to listen to that makes it connect to the movie, the 89 movie. Though if you subscribe to the idea that Keaton's Batman in The Flash is a different version from his in Batman 89, let's keep in mind, guys, this is audio. So you can just envision him in whatever suit you want. If you want to envision him in the Batman 89 suit, cool. If you want to, put this in same continuity as Johnny K's The Oath movie, maybe he's in that Batman Returns style prototype that he wore. That it's up to you, because this is what I love about doing these. It's audio, so you can envision whatever the hell you want when it comes to the designs of these suits. So that I'm excited about that. It's my first release collaboration with Nuverse on that. And if this does well, maybe we'll take a crack at some other ones that explain those Keaton suits for there. But when you check that out, you may also hear a familiar voice in the story as one of the villains. So that is on the way, or has already been released, depending on when that gets out. And lastly, to continue updating people, I have more art to share on the upcoming comic of mine, Alter Ego, which is basically Game of Thrones supervillains, where 5 families of villains rule over the wasteland of a post-apocalyptic city. I introduced you last time to the first 3 families. This is the head of the 4th family, the Gatekeeper. Think of him as Aquaman on land. He can communicate with all the surviving zoo animals to protect the borders of the city and ensure no one gets in or out, hence the Gatekeeper. So as you can see here, he's got a lion as an enforcer, as well as a bird who informs him of everything that happens. And that cane is nothing to, be afraid of the cane, is all I'm going to say on that. So this is what we got. And over to Andrew on your stuff.
Okay, so if you've listened to the podcast for a long time, this project used to be called Amino Recon. We've changed that to what we think is a better name, and it's now called Metal Force. Okay, and we're going to have a booth where we're promoting the Kickstarter that's going to be running for Metal Force at Japan World Heroes Convention. That's the name of the convention, and that's August 18th to 20th. And that's at the Burbank Marriott Convention Center in Los Angeles. We might be selling some trinkets too. So some small stuff, nothing crazy. And just kind of like promoting our project and trying to get funding while at the convention. So check it out, and also please check out www.metalforce.ninja. That is our URL, and you can see the campaign video there, and just the whole pitch and everything for Metal Force is there. And it's R-rated Power Rangers meets Stranger Things. That's my elevator pitch for it. It's not a fan film, but it does have strong inspiration from those two things. So it's a horror comedy movie. So there it is. Please check it out. And that's it for that one, Ben.
Nice. And lastly, we have our charity for this month.
Okay.
To be for Hope for the Day.
Hope for the Day is a non-profit movement empowering the conversation on proactive suicide prevention through action, outreach, and education. By educating ourselves and our communities on the basics of mental health, we can create strong peer support networks to assist those experiencing mental health challenges. When we provide accessible resources for mental health and social services, we can save lives. And especially if you look at our when we look at our YouTube analytics, we're like over 99% men. And not to say that it's obviously doesn't matter about gender, but there's something about men not talking about their mental problems. I'll say that. Like, dudes don't talk about emotions and feelings and shit. So if I can talk to 99% of our audience, like, please go seek help and talk to these people, or the suicide prevention hotline as well. Because Ben, have you ever had anybody commit suicide in your life?
Yes.
And I have as well. A lot of people have this experience, which really fucking sucks. So, this is what we're talking about this month, and Hope for the Day is our charity. So please check them out. Just wanted to announce that I have a new podcast called Gaming Gaiden. It's about Japanese to English translation. In this first season, it will be 10 episodes each season. If you saw the ranking every Superman video game two-parter we did here on Superhero Stuff You Should Know, you have seen Mike before. So yes, if you like video games, if you've been interested in Japanese ever, we're going to be talking a lot about just Japan in general, Japanese cultural differences as well, and we also are going to have a lot of talk about 90s video game magazines such as Electronic Gaming Monthly, aka EGM. So stay tuned for Gaming Gaiden podcast. It's already out now, y'all. I wanted to tell you about the Patreon.com. Patreon.com/superherostuffpod, and on that you get the $1 tier. You can join the $1 tier, which gets you the shout out on the board, and either visually or orally, or both at times. We want to do the oral for the most part for newer people. And then the $5 tier gets you a whole new show. This show is every Monday, as you well know, and it's free on YouTube and the What's Nots. And the Patreon show is every Friday at the $5 tier mark. You can, if you want, binge us for $5. and there's like 150 episodes, almost 150 at this point, and you can listen to all that content there. Even the stuff that's been released from the vault, none of that has been the full episode as well. So trying to keep our $5 tier people happy. But yeah, check that out. And then our $10 tier gets you all of the above, plus it gets you a monthly meetup show where you meet up with us monthly, and it's like a Zoom-like call, and we have a topic at hand, or sometimes videos we react to and things like that. And that's at the $10 tier. Every tier that you get, like the $5 tier gets you the $1 tier benefits, and the $10 tier gets you the $5 tier benefits and the $1 tier benefits. So check that out at patreon.com/superherostuffpod. We also got the merch, which is Redbubble, superhousepod.redbubble.com, and on Threadless, superherostuffpod.threadless.com. Get your Bin Man and Indeed Wizard mug, shirt, shower curtains, and all the rest artwork by Stephen Santa Cruz. And please send us some audio at superhousepodcast@gmail.com. A bumper would be great. You too can be part of the show. I'm Thunderwolf Drew on Instagram and Twitter. Thunderwolf lives as my other YouTube channel, one of my many YouTube channels. And I have also thunderwolfdrew.com has my whole portfolio in one place except for amanorecon.com. That's AMANORECON.com. And that is an original idea that some friends and I are doing, where it is R-rated Power Rangers meets Stranger Things. That's the quick pitch, and it is not a fan film, original idea. We have a pitch video right now on YouTube and on the Indiegogo page. We're campaigning right now as of this, when this episode premieres. And this poster art is by ZacharyJacksonBrownArt.com. And check it out. Please support us on the campaign. And more from that soon. But yes, it's bloody, and if you like that kind of thing, check us out. And that's it, Ben.
Follow us on social media, on Twitter at SuperhousePod, Instagram Superhero Stuff Pod, where we have some different supplemental stuff. I've even analyzed the martial arts stance that the Keaton ornament from The Flash is in, so you can check that out on our Instagram, Superhero Stuff Pod. TikTok, Superhero Stuff Pod, Vero, Superhero Stuff Pod. My website is benwanwriter.com, where you can read a whole bunch of spec scripts, including Gotham, Vampire, Elementary, The Death of Sherlock Holmes, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, Disneyland. If you're fans of any of those shows, check them out and let us know what you think. My YouTube channel is in the description below, including Doctor Who, The Ronin of Time, an audio drama I write, edit, and narrate with the 8th Doctor meeting Miyamoto Musashi. My personal Instagram is benwanwriter. If you like cats, my son, Alfie, my cat, is at Alfie Pennyworth Cat. And if you have an Alfie yourself, then you can get the Whisker Box, the only cat box with a crazy cat lady and gent. And you can even check out another page on that website, superherostuffpod.com/show notes. That includes various show notes for each of our episodes, links to the scripts that we review if they're available online, Amazon links to the stuff we've been talking about, including, Brian Levant's book that he plugged for us, My Life and Toys. So check that out at superherostuffpod.com/show notes.
Lord have mercy, y'all. Do you like hounds? Do you enjoy pooches? Do you find yourself enjoying time spent with that of canines? Talking about dogs, y'all.
As you might have heard, Superhero Stuff You Should Know has now teamed up with BarkBox. For every month, you get a box for your special canine.
Pooches.
Or hounds.
That's right. One free extra month if you go to barkbox.com/superherostuffpod.
Follow the link and you'll get a free extra month valued at $35 and valid for all multi-length plans.
So get the BarkBox for your hound, for your pooch, for your canine.
Your doggo will thank you.
I don't want no scrubs. No, not a single scrub in my life.
Welcome back, and we're going to go into the unmade Batwings through the years, the different movies. Again, There were no Batwings in the serials. There was a Batcopter in Batman 66, but we finally get to the first Batplane slash Batwing in Batman 89. And as we talked about before, the name of the Batwing does come from the 89 movie. And we actually covered a lot of this concept art with our guest, Rob Ailing, like a year or so ago, going through all the different Batman 89 concept art. But we can kind of see do a recap of these, because we can kind of look at some of the different designs on what led to what we consider to be, the S-tier version of the Batwing. So this is kind of like a preliminary sketch here of that, which is somewhat close to what we got, on here.
Yeah, it's close.
Moving further, this is close, though you can kind of see more realistic versions in the top left.
Yeah. Looks like
one
the
of those
Blackbird
Yeah, right.
from X-Men at the top left there, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the second one down kind of reminds me of like a Snyder thing. Maybe not the Snyder Batwing, but maybe a bit of the Flying Fox in there.
Something, yeah, that's similar for sure. And then we
Yeah.
get full on Keaton Batwing,
Yeah.
and it looks
Definitely
very
the one at the
toyetic.
bottom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is interesting looking at these. This is rare concept art, as we talked about before, that's in the Batman 80th anniversary, the definitive history of the Dark Knight book, the huge, huge one by, Andrew Farago and Gina McIntyre. I still haven't found this anywhere else. So they've managed to find some way to keep this in the book, I guess, or other people just aren't scanning these things. But this is pretty cool to take a look at. A lot of this as well comes from that book. This also comes from that book. This is more Snyder-esque with the space in between there, with
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
cockpit, and there's a lot of shark fins there. So glad we got what we got.
I don't love it.
Yeah, I don't love this either. It almost looks like a combination of like a sea creature plus like a head from Beetlejuice. Not Beetlejuice's head, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of the it's like when they tried to scare the family in Beetlejuice and they did the faces and the masks.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it looks like that to me.
That's such a
is another one.
strong artistic style in Beetlejuice too. I feel like we don't
Yeah.
see that as much in movies these days. But anyway,
Oh, yeah. This is another one where like there's a lot of fins. They went a little bit more overboard. This feels a little bit more like 1950s sci-fi spaceship type of thing. A little
Retro
bit what we got.
retro
Oh, yeah.
futurist mixed in with the kind of gothic
Mhm.
what do you call it, art deco style kind of. I don't hate this one. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it would be, I don't think I would have liked it too much as a kid.
Mhm.
But like if he's flying something similar to this in the Caped Crusader
Ooh,
cartoon coming out,
yeah.
I kind of wouldn't hate that probably.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Something similar to this probably. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It'd be cool to see something animated like this type of style that we see
Yeah.
here. Gotham looking like that. Not necessarily in black and white, but like this type of style for the cartoon, because we haven't really seen it like that. But if they're going, that the promo for Caped Crusader already looks very old school, very like
Yeah.
1939 Batman. So like
Yeah.
if it's in like, hey, like we're going full in on like noir Batman, but in animated form, this could be really cool.
Oh yeah, looks pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Moving further, this is kind of just a top view of the same design, it seems.
This looks like a Da Vinci plane or something. You
A
know,
little
like
bit, yeah.
this would be more like looks almost like steampunk, just
Mm-hmm.
gothic steampunk kind of thing.
A little bit, also kind of like a giant batarang too, given how many
Yeah, yeah.
scallops are on this. So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. This is just a flying triangle.
Yeah, this is
What
this
we can
is
see here.
this is kind of a pass.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then finally, the final design.
Mhm.
Anton First, Julian Caldo on that. Still the superior design, even if the functions in the one in the Flash are upgrades. But still awesome. Still the best one.
Easily. I mean, it's like so realistic but so toyetic at the same time. It's like such a crazy good combination of those things. So
Yep.
yeah, it's great.
So Moving further, I don't have any unused concept art for the Bat in The Dark Knight Rises. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped one. We do have Batman Forever, but I mean, this is pretty close. This is pretty much what we got in the movie, with it hanging upside down in the Batcave. So
it's okay.
Yeah, it's not the same as '89 though, but
Yeah,
it's still better than a lot of what came after.
I don't hate it. It's fine. It's okay.
You can kind of see some of, I don't know if it was an influence, but looking at this, it does seem to be kind of like that retro-futuristic one in some ways.
Kind of, yeah.
The lines, you know?
Yeah, kind of,
Or
yeah.
the scallops. So it's got a bit of that. But yeah, it is kind of cool that they carried over the whole Batwing is hanging upside down type of thing in The Flash, for the Flash version of Batwing.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, but yeah, moving on. Don't have any for Dark Knight Rises, but we do have some things for the Snyderverse. Our favorite, the Flying Fox. So
This
we
sucks.
got a lot of this.
This sucks, dude.
Yeah. But there's something here. This is interesting. So it says for Justice League, it says Batjet on this. Now, we didn't really get, unless the Batjet and the Batjet was just an earlier name for the Flying Fox, which it could be. We didn't really get a specific bat plane or bat wing in that outside of. There's like one shot where Batfleck's on the roof and he looks up and the bat wing comes up. Like that's about it.
Okay.
But we mainly had the Flying Fox in here. This is the view of them getting in, which like from this view, like this makes sense, right? You need a giant thing for everybody to show up and enough room in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
So from this angle, I don't mind it as much. But yeah, this is just kind of like a giant manta ray type of design here that it's whatever. This is the inside. We never got a shot like this in the movie, but this is more of Edna Navidad with Batman. What looks like Batman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman looking out through the windshield
Right.
here. So that's kind of a cool shot that we didn't get to see in the movie. Empty cockpit right here. Kind of cool. This is it flying in action, where we're still kind of meh on
It
it.
just looks like the wings are not big enough to carry that fat body.
True. Yeah. It feels very uneven. You know?
I mean, it would just be hard to maneuver. I'm sure. Look, I know we're dealing with pseudoscience here, but
Right.
it's just
Guy
not.
with his shit exposed in a batsuit.
Yeah. It's just I know it's
But
not
still.
everything's super realistic, but it's just it's just who's looking at this and is like, oh, that's awesome design. Like I'm just not. To me, it's kind of a guttural reaction. Like you just kind of like that's cool, that's not. That's cool,
Yeah.
that's not. Like
That's
it's
not.
just so it's so quick, and this is just not. I like the red interior, the red lights in the interior.
Yeah.
Maybe could have done something more with that, but
Yeah, I don't think we got that in the movie. The one thing
No.
we like about this, we don't get.
yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
This is the back of it. Again, it says Batjet on this one. This is kind of it inside of the, in the hangar, as they're all planning to.
They did a shot. They did a shot just like this in the movie, right? Pretty similar.
But in terms of where it's hanging in the hangar, I don't remember them in costume in the hangar
Oh yeah, maybe not.
standing
yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
They were standing in costume inside of the Flying Fox, but not necessarily in the hangar together like this.
Okay.
A little bit more of it under like construction and stuff. Another shot here, but a lot of this comes from Ed Natividad on that. And again, like we're not blaming it all on Ed. You obviously have to fulfill whatever the vision is of your boss, whether it's the production designer and the director and even the studio in some ways. So he's just kind of doing what he's been asked to do when it comes to this.
Definitely. This is the coolest shot of it, I feel like.
Yeah, though it does really highlight what you were talking about with the wings. The
Oh,
wings just feel. They're just there. They're decoration at this point.
they're like stubby as hell. But I guess it's the morning sunlight or something here, or afternoon magic hour, whatever this is.
Oh yeah.
That makes it look cool. Like some of those like Top Gun shots, man.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Like just really good aviation fighter jet cinematography. I fucking eat that shit up, dude. I love some of those shots.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this just needs some Kenny Loggins as the Flying Fox takes off.
I love that Maverick started out with that fucking.
They're
with
like,
that
we
fucking
got it.
song.
It's basically the same stuff. It's the same opening.
It's the same. It's the same one. We got it. Here's your fanfare. We're gonna move on. But at least it was there, so I appreciated
Yeah,
it.
no, definitely. So this is the inside of the hangar with Bruce working on it, which is pretty much what we got in the movie. And then this looks like, this is probably him in the scene where Diana is describing like the backstory of the parademons and stuff to him as he's basically building this thing. So that's it's cool that we get to see that it's a bearded Batfleck at this part that we didn't really get in the movie because at that point he'd already shaved. But it is cool to kind of see all this. Mm-hmm. And the last one we have is an unmade Batwing to show the one that it was apparently done for the Batman movie that Affleck was going to do. So we haven't really gotten a chance to discuss it, but it was revealed by concept artist Keith Christensen. This was supposed to be for the development of the Batman, not the Matt Reeves one, but the Ben Affleck one that wasn't made. That was going to have Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke. And it's kind of just a continuation of the stealth jet aesthetic from the Snyder version, though without not that huge space in between and stuff. So but still with the stealth jet, still with the realism. I'm not in love with it.
No.
I don't know how you feel about it in terms of comparing it to the Snyder one. It's different, but it's about the same.
It's slightly better, but it's still not great. I don't really like it that much at all, but it's better than the Snyder one, the other one. Yeah.
Sorry, Keith.
Sorry, man.
But again, he's being tasked to do what he's been asked to do.
Oh yeah, he's got the job because he knows how to draw for directors. So exactly. It's not about drawing his dream every time. That's just how it is. He's a working artist. So there it is. We're jackasses on the internet. He's doing goddamn shit for Snyder. So there it is.
So yeah, any of these that you liked? I guess everything before the Snyder stuff in design. But for the Batwings, I think we just like. I think we like some of the Batman '89 designs. The retro futuristic one is kind of cool for that type of feeling, but we got the best version in the final movie.
Oh yeah, we definitely did. The Batman Forever one is cool. I could kind of, if that came out, if there was like a futuristic-ish version of that one in Batman Beyond, that'd be kind of cool too. Actually, I kind of would accept that. And yeah, that retro futuristic Gothic one would be kind of cool actually in its own like little setting. So it would have to be kind of maybe period piece Batman like. But yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, that one was fine. That one was okay. Not this one. The Kristen one.
Yes.
Christensen.
So yeah. There were other concept art that was released for the Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman one, where it was the bat suit, and I think we talked about it. We showed it briefly before on it, and it's just kind of like it's not. I don't think it's quite to the level of what we thought of the Batfleck suit in The Flash, but it was one where we're just like, this is not that great. Let's stick with the BVS aesthetic that was in the Snyder movies.
Right.
So, I would just want, if they did this, like if we were to travel the multiverse and go to a world where they did actually do the Batfleck movie, I'd want them to just keep the same stuff. Keep the same suit, keep the same, aesthetic for stuff. Well, at least keep the bat suit. Maybe change the other stuff. Maybe you could still change the other stuff with the excuse that stuff was destroyed.
You're talking about a new Batfleck if it was a Batfleck movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's think about the fat bat design.
Oh,
you could do the B-2 bomber. It's not too dissimilar from that fat bat, so just I would if I had my druthers, I'd kind of base it on that and have like a fat bat flying around, the fat bat symbol. Cool. And he's an older Batman. Maybe him dropping bombs would be kind of a not in character.
We're back to BVS.
Yeah, just I don't know, but the B-2 bomber design, this it does have the stealth. It's got the stealth, so that's good about it. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, if he's somewhat, he's tinkered around with it. He's got a new design, especially after, assembling the Justice League and the Flying Fox and stuff. He needs to have his own vehicle, and he makes it a little bit closer to what you were talking about. That could have been cool. The evolution of that, and maybe some way for it can reflect the character.
Base it on the bat symbol, dude. That's just how you do it. To me,
that's how they got in '89 and in the Flash.
He's got the iconic fat bat. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, they got in they got it right in '89, and the Flash. There's no real reason to mess with it.
No, not really. Not really. So there it is.
Keep it like the bat symbol. Yeah. We only ask for so little when it comes to some of these designs for bat cycles and that bat wings, but look how complicated people make them. As you can see with these.
They overthink it, dude. Like, didn't people used to want to sell toys, man? Like, what is up with this shit, man?
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Fucking
That's where you get a lot of the money from these movies.
Marketing synergy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let us know in the comments what you guys think in terms of these unmade bat cycles and the bat wings. But until then, that is superhero stuff you should know. Big thanks to our research assistant Dan for gathering the visuals of all the concept art for the YouTube version. Let's go into some fan comments and fan shoutouts. First comes from Bobby Billy Bill Bob on The Flash. Awesome. Said, would have been cool if the intro had a villain like Scarecrow trying to steal some chemicals rather than random thugs under Falcone. Seeing as it's all being rebooted, could have cast a random stunt double for that part. That could have been cool.
This is stopping Flash?
Scarecrow. Yeah, if he's stopping Scarecrow on that bridge at the end rather than Alberto Falcone.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe they just wanted generic thugs to round up. I don't know. Yeah. It would have been cool though. Yeah, for sure. Scarecrow's awesome.
Yeah, same. Especially like a more faithful version of Scarecrow where he's in the full getup up against blue and gray Batfleck. Yeah.
More toys to sell.
Indeed. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
So, on the topic of toys, John Jones 6764 says, great video as always. The coloring on the fourth deep dive design that we covered in the that episode on the Joe Quinones concept art for those Keaton bat suits in the Flash. John Jones brings up that this design resembles another figure in the line, the Hydro Charge Batman from the short-lived second wave that I've pulled up here on the right, kind of along the same lines as Deep Dive Batman, as we can see here with the yellow. It's just more black on the chest area. He had that yellow and black coloring with a weapon I could never make work. Seeing all of these makes me want to make costumes out of the figure variant looks. And I got to get that Batsuit display. I think he's talking about the Hot Toys one that had all the Keaton Batsuits.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll look awesome with the figure display I have up in the makeshift Batcave diorama I'm building. Awesome. Send us pictures when you do that.
He's got plans.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
And I'm sure if there's some way that people can set up their own version with their different Kenner toys, that'd be awesome too. If we could see some pictures of that. So thanks, John, for that.
Yes, thank you.
This one, I believe, comes from Ruben, who we met over at WonderCon, who said, thanks for posting this on my birthday.
Woo!
It's like Ruben really loved the episode, so happy belated birthday, man, and thanks for being a fan.
Happy birthday. That's awesome. Thank you.
Nice. All right, we're at the shout-outs already.
Can't believe it, man. Let's thank Slight Rebellion off Madison. I've seen you on the Gaming Guide in comments. Thank you for listening to that as well, man. Mm-hmm. Meteor P, Michael W, Bruce K, Tita, Sketchcraft, Kyle B, Darren P, Devin Titbout, and Renee V, and our other supporters as well. And you know what? We told you about our friends, and now we want you to do us a favor.
We want you to tell all your friends about us.